This is Bradley of Bradley Teaches, aka Alana's Pawpaw. And welcome to episode 0, I would call it, of Bradley Teaches Video Graphics for Restream Live. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Please, if you are here, let me know where you're coming in from. Say hi. Let me know what city you may be in. And let me know where you may be viewing this live from. We're on multiple channels right now. Just want to know where everybody's coming in from. So again, I am Bradley Vincent of Bradley Teaches, and today is my very first live for Restream teaching video graphics for use in Restream. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great time we're going to have here as we move and matriculate through this thing. I'm going to show you guys how to create some cool stuff to use in Restream Studio. But today's episode, as I said, is kind of episode 0, right? We got to get to know each other a little bit. So in this episode, I really want to hear from you, and you tell me what kind of things you're trying to do in Restream Studio as far as graphics are concerned. Your overlays, your logos, video clips you may be trying to do, backgrounds and things like that. And I want to help you workshop out what you're working on to enhance your Restream Studio broadcast. So we're going to do a little bit of that today. We can even jump into Canva today. If you got some Mac users in the house, we can jump into Keynote, and we're going to create some graphics. But the way that this live will work weekly, I'll be here weekly at this same time on this same station at 4:30 Central, and it's going to be a Q&A time. And matter of fact, if you have questions, start off your comment with a Q or the word question, so I know that's what they are when I see them in the chat stream. And I will jump in and we'll workshop out whatever you're working on. Another thing that this live will be every week is also video reviews. So if you have a video that you're working on, that you've created some graphics for that you're unsure about, you can send me screen captures of it or a link to it, and I will review your video live here in front of a studio audience, right? Also, what's the other thing, right? I would review your stuff. I can help you workshop through your stuff. I'm going to give you some tutorials and tips on making better graphics. So that's what this is all about. And it is weekly. It's going to be about an hour every week, but this is made for you. Of course, I'll jump in and I will be doing tutorials about making overlays and things like that. But I want to bowl down your alley. I want to answer your questions about graphics as they relate to Restream Studio. So if you're here in the house, let me know that you're here. Let me open up my chat stream here. All right, we got some people coming in. We're going to put the chat overlay on right here so I can just read these as we go through, so I don't have to throw you up on the screen. But we have a Facebook user. Okay, overlays. Okay, we got somebody from Phoenix, Arizona. Welcome, welcome, welcome. People from my personal Facebook group, welcome. I'm digging that. Video clips for promotional purposes. Okay, so you're talking about kind of mid-roll commercials or things like that to help promote your stream and things of that nature. We can definitely do graphics for that, kind of full screen animations that we can save as videos, right? That we can bring in and use as a video clip. Can definitely do that. Canva, okay. Canva, I know is popular with a lot of people. Overlays, okay. That's what I am here for. Okay, we got Corey from Indianapolis. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So as I said again, hey, I'm Bradley of Bradley Teaches, and my lane is helping live streamers create graphics for their broadcast. So let me give you this little caption. This will help you. You don't have to do this today. This is for next week. So today, if you have questions, just ask them here live in the broadcast. And that is always an option. You don't have to use the form that you see linked here. What the form will do, though, is we'll get your questions in the queue. So any question you ask from the end of this broadcast until next Wednesday, the day before my next broadcast, I will answer those questions first. As soon as I come on air, I'm going to answer those questions that are in that queue first, and then I'll answer every other question live, and we'll fit in as many as we can before the end of the broadcast, which will also include me kind of workshopping out things with you all and creating graphics. So please use that link if you want to have your question answered first next week. right? But as of now, you jump in now and ask your questions. And if you put a Q in front of your comment, oh, we have someone from Manila, welcome. And Amarillo, Texas, not quite as far away, welcome. I'm from Texas also. All right, y'all. So I saw Canva pop up on the list. I saw overlays pop up. Now, I must be kind of give you a little definition. Overlays are basically anything that sits on top of your video, right? So it's over your video. So that can be a logo bug. It can be a frame, so to speak, overlay frame. It can be a lower third. So let me know what you're talking about when you say overlay, because overlay is basically anything that's sitting on top of your video. So give me a little bit more specifics on that, and I can actually help you create one of those today, right? The person that said Canva, let me know what you would like me to help you create in Canva today, and we will work on that. All right. So that's what we're here to do today. Like I said, this is episode 0. So there's not really an agenda today because this is the first episode. I want you to get used to me and know what I'm about. I want to see what you're about, what you're asking about, and what kind of things you would like to learn. And we'll just keep riding this roller coaster together, creating cool graphics and enhancing them, enhancing our broadcast. All right. So I'm going to take just the word Canva and overlay, and we're going to combine those, and we're just going to jump into Canva and create some graphics. What y'all say about that? So let me turn off a couple of these captions and make us some room. And I'm going to turn off the chat screen to give us a little extra room to fill up the screen here. And we're going to jump into Canva and make an overlay. What you think about that? All right, so here we go. Let's go into Canva. So here we are in Canva, and we're going to make a quick overlay for Restream Studio. We're even going to upload it, and I'm going to show you how to use it. All right, so the first thing we want to do here, I'm just going to go to Create a Design, and I'm going to use presentation, not because I want to use slides per se or make a slideshow, but the proportions of the presentation are already the widescreen proportions of Restream Studio. So I just like using presentation as my backdrop. So here we are here. I'm going to do this overlay. Yes, remind me later. I don't need a coupon. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make an overlay 2 different ways. I'm going to make an overlay where we're going to draw the edges and leave the middle open. And I'm going to make an overlay where we have kind of a background that we cut a hole in to see our video through. So we're going to make both of those types. Now, I have Canva Pro, but what I'm showing you now will work in the basic Canva also. You don't have to have the paid version of Canva to do what I'm about to show you how to do. So with that in mind, let me go down here to my folder. Now, this is one thing that I can do that you may not be able to do in the free version. I have different folders of images that I use, right? And this is what I call my secret weapon image. This is basically a screen capture of me in my studio environment. And I use these, what I call secret weapon graphics. Uh-oh, that was weird. All right, let's try that again. I use the secret weapon graphics so I can place myself on the screen and do my graphics around me and know exactly where everything should be placed, right? So I always do that first. And let me lock this. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the outer frame. We're going to do a overlay of drawing the edges and leaving the middle open. So I'm going to go back to Elements. Come on, Internet. Okay. And I'm going to use the basic shapes and start off with just kind of a rectangle, right? So I'm going to draw a frame here. We're going to make it a little funky. Let's angle this a little bit. All right, so that's side 1. Let's do another basic shape. And all I'm doing here is I'm going to physically draw the frame. in this case, right? Instead of the other method I'm going to show you in a couple of seconds. This is not my day for this thing. Come on back to me. Yeah, Canva added a new feature that allows you to do little thumbnails now. And it is really easy to drag stuff off of your scene into something else. So the feature that's supposed to help you actually can become a hindrance a little bit. All right, and let's make this a different color. All right, so let's draw another frame. We'll keep this one straight just for the sake of just kind of getting it knocked out. And we'll make this another color. Don't matter. Let's do gray. And finally, we'll make the last frame, right? We'll do 2 straight edges, 2 angled edges. So now you kind of see the purpose of me using what I call my secret weapon graphic, because now I know exactly how this overlay is going to look in Restream. So let's give this one a color real quick. Let's make it red, just for grins. Whoa, that's bright. Okay. So here is my overlay, right? So I'm gonna go here, unlock this, click the background, delete it. Now, because I'm using the free version, I will not be able to export this as a PNG file with transparency. If you have the paid version, you will be able to export this with transparency. But I'm going to assume that you're using the free version. So what we want to do instead, let's first go here, and we are going to make the background of this, let's make it black. That's fine. Okay. So now we're going to download it. Today is not a good internet day, apparently. There we go. All right, so we're going to download it. We're going to do Jpeg, which I know is available for free users, right? And 100% quality, actual size. Just the first page is fine. Done. Okay, so we're going to download this and we're going to come back to it in a second. So that is our first overlay, because now I'm going to show you another step that's going to help you cut the hole out of the middle, right? Now, if I had the pro version, like I said, I could just export this as a PNG file and say transparent background. And the part that you see here that's black would have transparency, all right? So that's the first way you can make a frame. Just draw the edges, export, good to go. The second way you can make a quick overlay is, let's go back. We can do my secret weapon graphic again, make it fill the whole screen, lock it so we can see. So now I'm going to go back to elements and let's say see all those basic shapes. Let's pick one. I like the curved edge one. Let's do this one. All right. So here we are, and we're going to change the transparency of this so we can see through it. And we're going to draw this because this is going to be the hole that's going to be in our overlay, right? So I have this kind of out. I know it's going to crop here, and I'm going to leave space at the bottom because I might want to use the built-in lower thirds and things like that of Restream. So now we have that knocked out. I can go back here and unlock it and delete it. And so now we need to put a background image behind this. We can kick the transparency back up on that. And you know what? Let me check and see if you guys are saying anything. I don't want to leave y'all behind. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Okay, we're good to go. All right. And let me know if you're kind of with me still and if these are things that are helping you any. All right. So now I'm going to go and let's pick photos. Let's pick backgrounds. Backgrounds. And let's do Let's do a texture. All right. So there's our texture there, and that's going to be the frame of our overlay, right? So I'm going to go here to the blue, and I'm going to make it a different color now. Let's make it gray. Oh. Gray. And maybe even black would work for that. Okay. Now, the reason I make the elements that I'm going to delete or take out to make transparent, the reason I make them black or gray instead of like a loud green that some people use for green screening is because when we select that color and delete it in the next step I'm going to show you, every now and then it won't do it perfectly. And there may be remnants of the color that you tried to delete around the edges. Now, if you make the spot you're going to delete black or gray when you delete it and there's some left, it can then act like a shadow versus act like this kind of weird remnant of the pixels around your edges, right? So you want to use a dark color if you can still select it without selecting the surrounding pixels, right? But you want to use a dark color that you're going to cut out. And then if any of it's left behind, it can kind of give a shadow effect versus some weird green or orange random pixels laying around, right? So now let's export this file. And we're going to export this as a JPEG. Download this. Now, if you're using the free version of Canva, you need to follow the following steps with me. Now, free version or not, even if you have the pro version and you're trying to cut a hole out of a background or a picture that you add to Canva, you must do this next step because Canva does not have the capability of cutting shapes out of shapes. So your workflow is going to be a little bit different. So if you want to make this kind of overlay that starts off with a background that you're going to cut a hole in, follow these steps. If you're going to draw the frame like I drew in the first example, but you have the pro version, you can just export as a PNG file with transparency and Canva will eliminate the background. All right, so the next thing we have to do, we're going to go to photop.com, which is kind of a Photoshop-esque kind of graphics application. And we're going to open up our first graphic. And let's see if I can do this and kind of just get those ads off the screen. There we go. All right. So we're going to do this. And we're going to open up the first graphic first. We're just going to drag it over Photop. So here's our graphic here, right? And all we have to do now is go down to the magic wand, which is the fourth tool down from the top. We're going to click magic wand, then click on the area we want to delete. I'm not sure if you can see those marching dots or not, but I just clicked the black, right? That's the part I want to delete to make my frame. I hit delete. It is now gone. And now when I export this file, go to File, Export As, PNG, I now have a transparent background PNG file that I can use in Restream Studio. Click Save. Let's now save that file as a PNG. I'm going to exit out of this, which is fine. And we're going to open up the other design that we made in Canva, which is basically a background that we drew a shape on top of that we want to cut a hole out of as an overlay. So now again, I'm going to go here, go down to the fourth tool in the toolbox. We're going to click on that black or gray or whatever color you put in there, hit delete. Now we're ready again to export this file, export as, PNG, save. And we have now two overlays that are ready to be used in Restream Studio. Now, sometimes I tend to get this question, right? So say you're in Canva and you have this blue, green speckled background, and you like the texture, but you don't necessarily like the color. So it's like, okay, what do I do? I really want this to be orange. It's green. I like the texture, but I can't really make it the color I want. Yes, you can. In Photopea, you can. So if I go over here to the image that I have open, and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Replace Color, and I pick the color, which is that blue. I hit OK. And now, if I change the hues and things like that, I can get a brand new color. Pretty awesome, huh? Now, if I change the fuzziness up, it changes more of the colors in the design, right? So you can pinpoint a color, or you can just kind of change the whole thing. So now let's got a purple one now. I like that. That's okay. So now I'm going to go to File, Export As, PNG again for transparency. Hit Save. And there we go. All right. So now let's jump back into Restream Studio. And I'm going to show you what these graphics look like in action, right? So in Restream Studio, I'm going to go to my graphics layer. Let me turn back on the chat to see if you guys are saying anything. I'm going to go back to my graphics layer, or my graphics tab in Restream Studio, and I'm going to go to my overlay area. Now, if you guys need to see me working through that also, let me know, because I have a second screen of Restream up, and I can show you as I work through it. You know what? Let's just do that anyway. So let's open up this, and I'm going to go to share the screen again. Okay, so here I am in Restream Studio. And let's turn the chat off so it can be a decent size so you can see everything. All right, so here I'm in Restream Studio. And what you see here is a screen capture of myself that I'm using as a graphic, right, for these purposes. Now, I am in kind of another copy of my Restream. So I'm going to go down here to the overlay area. In the graphics tab, I'm in the overlays area. I'm going to hit the plus, and I'm going to go find the graphics that I just made. And so for me, those are going to be in my downloads folder. And let's go by date modified. Okay, here's the purple one. So we'll download that one. I'm just going to go through and download each of them. So there's a purple one. Let's click that again. Let's get the blue one. And we'll click again, and we'll get the frame design. These are all the PNG versions. Okay, so now if I use these, and I'll click the first one here, just click show. And as you see here, that overlay is in action. Now, the way Restream Studio works, you can only use one overlay at a time, but you can use things in combinations, right? So I can use an overlay and a logo and a background at the same time and stack them. And in some of the future lives that we'll be doing through the workshop, I'm going to show you how you can combine those different elements to create different looks throughout your broadcast. So I want to show another one. So here's the blue one. And then finally, here's the frame version that we made. And as I said before, we knew how they were going to look because we used a secret weapon image, that I call it anyway, in Canva to draw around. And so there we are. All right, so let me go back to the main screen here and see if you all have any questions or anything that came up during that you would like me to kind of cover again or talk about. Let's see who we have here. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the thumbs. Appreciate that. What's up, Alicia? What's up, Monty? What's up, y'all? Good to see y'all. Yeah, Photopea is a really good program, and it's really Photoshop-like, but it is a lot easier to use. I hate to call anything watered down, right? But it is a Photoshop-like program that's web-based and is very easy to use for specific things, like what I just showed you with Canva, right? So you can use the free version of Canva, pick your backgrounds, pick your shapes, And then don't worry about trying to cut the hole out of it. Just draw your rectangles or your circles or whatever you want to draw. That's going to be the holes in it for you and your guest or just you. Bring that into Photo P, magic wand it, delete that color, export as PNG, and you are good to go. So Photo P is excellent for that. Also, like I said before, maybe you might want to, you found a texture that you kind of like, but it's not quite the right color, or it is a color and you want it to be grayscale, right? You can change all those things in Photo P. And so if those are some more things you all want to learn about, please let me know. Like I said, this is episode 0, kind of our introduction to each other, kind of fill each other out, you know what I mean? And I want to kind of know what you all are trying to do graphic wise to enhance your Restream Studio broadcast, and what kind of graphics you're trying to make, what issues you may be having creating graphics. There's certain things you are wondering if you could make them and use them in Restream Studio. All those are questions that I would love to hear from you, because I want to help you create the things you want to create versus, hey, here's how to make XYZ, and you may have no need for that, right? I'm going to do a little bit of that anyway, just to kind of catch people that may not be in the question asking mode, but I definitely want to answer your questions. That is the main focus of what this is all about, is answering the questions that you have and helping you create graphics you want to create for Restream Studio. So yeah, appreciate the thumbs up, y'all. Appreciate the accolades and things like that. So I enjoy seeing y'all here. It is cool, cool, cool. All right, y'all. So if there are any other questions you may have, let me know if there's anything that kind of came up in the quick Canva tutorial I just did, things that are maybe helpful to you, things that you're trying to figure out how to do with Canva for Restream Studio or other apps. I'm open to showing you how to use other apps too. The apps that I focus on showing people how to use are typically Keynote, Canva, and Photo P. Photo P is really Photoshop-like, but it's free. Canva can be free, and Keynote is free, right? So you can really do, what am I trying to say? You can really do custom graphics and pro-like graphics with these free applications. So I want to help you master those and use them to enhance your videos. So let me know. Let me see what we got here. Let's see. Can we do the GIF video overlay and use it for Restream and StreamYard using Canva and Photo P? You can create an animated GIF, but as of right now, you can't have animated overlays in Restream. I think that is in their plan to release that soon, and more than likely they may be animated GIFs, but you can definitely do animated GIFs with Canva, and you can make a transparent area in them for an overlay, and you can use those, I believe, in StreamYard. Now, I must give you this caveat about using animated GIFs in StreamYard. I don't think that Restream will have the same issue, but StreamYard, you cannot turn off the animation. It's going to auto rotate and you can't stop it. So say, for instance, like me putting your comment on the screen, right? If this was an animated lower third in StreamYard, it would just keep going in and out, right? I couldn't stop it unless I stopped it manually and turned it off. Other apps have a feature where you can say rotate once, right? StreamYard doesn't have that capability as of today that I know about. So you want to kind of watch it as far as that's concerned. Now, if you're doing an animated overlay frame and you don't mind it continuously rotating, a animated GIF is good for that. But just if you're going to do an animated GIF as a lower third, that's something you need to know about if you're going to do it in StreamYard. Yeah, but so I can definitely show you how to do an animated overlay in Canva right now, but it wouldn't necessarily work in Restream Studio. So Let's see here. Does the Restream save the graphics for use in any subsequent streams? Yes, once you put the graphic in Restream Studio, it is in Restream Studio. I'm not sure how many graphics, quite honestly, and I'm not sure the overall size of all the graphics it will let you hold. That I don't know, and I can look that up for you. But any graphics that you upload into your Restream Studio are there. So once you make them, excuse me, and you put them into your account, they are there until you delete them. So yeah, so you can do that. I don't know if there's like a certain amount, like, oh, you can upload 5 graphics. I don't know that number. I'm sorry about that, but I can check that for you. Yeah, but whatever you upload into the system will stay until you delete it. All right, let me see. Getting a little ticky internet here. I don't like that. How about an animated overlay graphic? Yes, like I was saying, I can show you how to make them, but as of right now, they are not available to be used in Restream Studio. I don't think. You know what? You're making me think about something. I don't think you can do animated images. Let me just look up a GIF on my desktop and see if I can upload it into Restream. I don't think that's possible right now. I know it's on the agenda of updates. Um, let me just see if this will work. And if it does, then I'll then show you how to make one for sure. Not a problem at all. So let me see if I can upload this real quick. Overlay desktop. Okay. And let me select it. Let me see. We're all going to learn something today. Let's see. If this changes colors, then it will let me use an animated GIF. It looks like it won't. Yeah, so this was an animated GIF that I did that would actually fade between different colors. I did it as a demo. Yeah, it should be changing colors by now. So because it's not changing colors, I would assume that animated overlays are not available yet in Restream Studio. But I can show you how to make one. Surely I can show you how to make one. And, so if you guys want to learn how to make one real quick, I can do that. Let's go back to chat. And okay. Yeah, just answer the question. All right. So is a presentation size in, let me put it on the screen. Is a presentation size in Canva the standard size for live streaming in general or just Restream only? The presentation size in Canva, the 1920 by 1080, is a pretty much standard size for any live streaming app. 1920 by 1080 is considered HD, right? There's also 1080 by 720, and you have 720 by, it's not 360. I don't know. Yeah, but there's a 720 size too, right? So if you make it 1920 by 1080, this is what I always tell people. Make it the larger size, which is 1920 by 1080. As long as it is 16 by 9 proportion and you upload it, it'll scale properly. So if it's a little too big, Restream will squeeze it down to the size that's needed, right? But 1920 by 1080 is the standard size for Restream. Some other apps, they go into that 1080 by 720 ratio. It's still 16 by 9. And whatever app you're using, as long as it's widescreen format, I would go with a larger size and make the app shrink it down. Because what you don't want is to do it with a smaller size and make the app try to scale it up. And then that'll kind of ruin all your work, right? Because it's scaling it up. And because you're creating raster images, I'm getting a little nerdy here, raster versus vector images, it's going to make that pixel bigger and more fuzzy versus just scaling it where it would in a vector image. Yeah, so long story short, 1920 by 1080 is the standard size. All right, so let me see. Well, I mean, do you all want to make a animated image in Canva? Let's go back to Canva. We can do that real quick. Let's see. Go back to Canva. And well, see now, okay. This is what I don't know because I've been using Canva Pro for a while. So I don't want to give you the false impression that the free version, I think the free version will let you export an animated GIF from Canva. So I'm just going to make that guess right now, and just whatever I'm going to show you will be available to you in the free version. So we're just going to do that as what we're thinking it's going to be, right? Okay, so here's, you know what, let me undo that. We're going to add animated elements to this thing. So we're going to go back here. Let's go to elements and animate. Let's see if we got some animated stuff. Okay, so we got some stars. Now here's the deal though. Here's what I want you to know. If we're going to do an animated GIF, right, which obviously right now we see will not work in Restream, but I want to show you some things that you can do with Canva and Photo P that can really help you, right? So this is like, we're going to make a single window overlay that's animated, right? So we're going to put some animated elements in there. We're going to, I don't know what else is cool. Let's just throw some other stuff in there. Let's do this thing that kind of points down. Okay. Like, hey, I'm the main feature here. Okay, so we got some animated stuff going on, and we want this to be an overlay. We can even add other stuff. We're just going to add some animated elements for now, right? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to download a animated GIF. So we're going to go to GIF. And we're going to only do the first page. And done. Download. And this one might take a little while because there's several frames and things like that for the animated GIF. Now, here's something that's ultra cool that I'm going to show you in Photo P that is an immense time saver and another little secret weapon, quite frankly, that most people don't really even pick up on that you can use Photo P for. So this is going to be an overlay, and this gray area, right, is going to be the opening for my picture or for my video behind it. So just keep all that in mind. So let's go back to Photo P, and we're going to close that. And we're going to open up this animated GIF. And as you'll see, these are all the frames of that animation. I don't know how many it is. It's a bunch of them, right? Because every second of that frame, like even that arrow coming out, it's like a old school flip books, right? Where you flip it and the little guy runs across the screen. So that's what that is. Let me drag this off because we want to see those ads. Oh, drag it too far. Now it won't work. Now it won't let me do it. Okay, come on, all the way back over. All right, whatever. Okay, so here we are in Photo P, and here's all the frames. Here's what's uber cool that Photo P can do, and tell everybody you learned that here. Tell everybody you learned it here. I'm going to show you how to make this transparent area in all these frames quickly and easily, right? So the first thing we want to do is we're going to select all the frames. Click the first one, hold down Shift, click the last one. Then we're going to click the folder icon. So now they're all in a folder, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the folder. Man, internet is acting up today. Okay, open up the folder, click on the first frame, and we're going to magic wand it, right, to get that gray that we want to delete. Now I'm going to click on the folder level and click the mask icon at the very bottom of the screen, the rectangle with the hole in it. I'm going to click that. Uh-oh, undo. Wrong way. So I'm going to select inverse. Now click that. And what has happened now is that every slide all the way down now has that area cut out of it. See? So as I go through and turn on each slide, you see that hole is cut out of all of them at one time because I did that mask to the folder that's holding all of them. Now all of them have that spot cut out. So now when I export this, it's going to be a transparent animated GIF with all those animated elements with a transparent hole in this portion where my video will show through it. So that's an easy way to do an animated overlay from Canva by bringing it into Photo P and doing the mask on a folder of all those layers. Because as you saw, if I went through and I had to do that for all these layers, that'd be a beast, right? So, but now, because I did it to the folder, they're all there. So now if I go to File, Export, GIF, and it's going to give me a size warning. I don't want it to be reduced. Now this is going to take a little while because it's a huge file now, but there's ways to crunch it, and I'll show you how to do that. But you walk through those steps of making the animated GIF. As you see here, that animation is running, right? So right here, this is where the tendency of StreamYard would not work, because I could set this animation to run one time, and even if I upload it to StreamYard, it would continuously animate, right? So that's what you want to watch out for. But let me go ahead and save this. All right, so what I can do now, I'll just go to an empty browser window. And let's see if I drag and drop this graphic on a browser window, will I be able to see it? I want to do this. New browser window, drag this on there. Yeah, see? So now you see it running, right? So this is that transparent background animated GIF. So it does work. It does have transparency. Transparency shows up as white in a web browser, but it'll be transparent, ready to go, good to go. So that's how you would make an animated overlay in Canva and Photo P. Let's see. How do I find Restream compared to programs like Ecamm? Ecamm and Restream are, I wouldn't call them competitors, they're complementary programs. So right now you're looking at me using a virtual camera from Ecamm. Some people come in with a virtual camera through OBS. So I'm using the graphic power of Restream, bringing in the multiple comments from different places with Restream. I'm multi-streaming with Restream. So I'm using the power of Restream and the power of Ecamm to create this broadcast. And so they're compatible programs versus competitive programs. You can use them both together, or you can use Restream only if you want to. If multi-streaming is your focus, you can only really do that with Restream, right? But you can bring in an Ecamm camera virtually into Restream and combine the power of both. So I don't necessarily compare them. I see them as complementary programs versus competitors. So that's how I would talk about it. Let's see. Oh, cool. I love it that you love it. Appreciate it. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, y'all. So we are about to wrap this thing up. I thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me today. If there's any last minute questions, please let me know. Please do. If you have any questions, you can always go by this form. It's a quick and easy form where you can fill it out with your question. You can upload graphics or screen captures of whatever video component you're working on that you may have issues with. And I can look at them for you. So that form is a great way to get your questions in the queue early to make sure that I answer them first in the next episode. So the episodes going from here on will be thematic. So next week, I will probably focus on overlays and lower thirds and showing you how to make those with multiple windows. Following weeks, we may just do kind of a logo bugs or animations or full screen animations. Now, when we say animated GIF, let me show you something real quick. So the animated GIF wouldn't work as an overlay, but I could add, if I export it as an MP4 file versus an animated GIF or MOV file versus animated GIF, I can upload that as a video element, right? So as a video clip. So if I added the video clip and I play it, do that with a graphic that I made in Canva. So that would be great as a mid-roll animation or mid-roll type of ad, right? Or call to action. I've used those before. We'll say, hey, follow me on. And it just pops up, while I'm talking, it'll pop up, then go away. So those are things you can do too. So kind of think about that as you're thinking about graphics and other ways to use the other elements that could be available through Restream, right? So think about those. Let's go back to chat real quick. Yes, cool. As Anya says, right, the animated overlays aren't quite ready yet, but when they are ready, we're going to be doing them right here, and I'll be showing you how to make them. But the animated backgrounds, I saw a demo of that yesterday in the software demo on YouTube on Restream's YouTube channel, and those are going to be really cool. So once they release those, and we might even dabble with those next week. Once they're released, if they release before I come back on next week, I'll definitely show you those and show you how they work. Be cool for that. No problem at all. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. This is what I love doing. So to hear that you guys like what I'm doing and the demonstrations I'm showing you and being able to walk through that brings joy to me that you would not imagine. So I am here to answer your questions and help you work through things graphically that you're trying to do with Restream Studio. So please use that form that I'll show you one more time. But then also, you can come here live with your questions. It's no big deal. Bring your questions here live. I love being asked things live because then it's kind of an adventure, right? Can he do it? And so I kind of like that challenge also. So we can go multiple ways. So you don't have to use a form. Just come on with your questions and we'll work it from there. Um, Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Good to see you too. Thank you for doing that. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? Widgets in Ecamm. How will that work when using Restream Studio, when using Ecamm, Virtual Cam, as you do? I'm guessing that means now instead of no. Yeah. The way that will work, because it's a camera, and I don't want to lie to you, so don't make me answer that because I don't know that specifically. But I'm thinking if the camera is a feed and the widget is connecting wherever it's connecting to, even though Ecamm is not streaming, just using it as a camera, if something functionally happens that can fire off that widget, it should show up. But because you're not using Ecamm as your streaming apparatus, that may not be the video you're watching on Facebook or wherever else. So the triggering thing is probably triggering in Restream, not in Ecamm. So that's as I'm talking through it, talking right now. Yeah, because Ecamm is just a camera, it's not streaming. So you're not delivering an Ecamm video per se into Facebook or wherever you're doing it. You're pushing a Restream video into those places. So I'm thinking that that widget may not fire off. That's my guess. Can you stream live to Instagram from Restream? I don't know. I have a Restream, not a Restream. I have an Instagram account. It's brand new, but I've never tried to Restream to it. Um, I'll say this: if Restream, if what am I trying to say? If Instagram is one of the channels that you can pick to stream to, then Restream will push it. I don't think streaming to Instagram is a universal option. People have had workarounds and using third-party apps that may or may not even be officially accepted by Instagram. So you don't really want to dabble in that unless Instagram actually has an open option to do that. You start using third-party software and other little, funny apps to do that, it could get you booted from Instagram. So not even sure if that's worth it unless Instagram opens that up for other apps to be approved to do that. Let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, and so yeah, please come back live. Catch me next week. As I said, I'm here live on Thursdays at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern, and whatever time in your neck of the woods, 30. But I thoroughly enjoyed my time here with you all today. Please come back and see me next week. Use that form, ask your questions, put them in the queue, and just jump in and visit. Thank you all for hanging out with me for episode 0 of Bradley Teaches Video Graphics for Restream Studio. I will be back next week. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.